I'd like to thank LinkedIn Jobs for being the official college football recruiting sponsor across the Locked On College Network. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. Joining me now is Hayden Hansen, one of the newest players on this Florida Gators team for the 2022 season. And he's a three-star tight end that we love here. We love tight ends here, favorite position on offense. So I'm cool with it. But Hayden, what was your recruitment like? Because you were committed to Louisiana with Billy Napier, and then he left to come to Florida, and then you ended up at Florida. So just what was that whole process like for you?
So it was pretty crazy because at first I was one of the first ones committed to him at UL, and then obviously you hear the rumors about him leaving and the possibility, and I knew that when I committed, but I just didn't think it would be this year. I figured I'd get 2 good years out of him at UL, and then he'd leave. It came sooner than I thought. I started hearing more and more rumors. So about I waited till the day he left and I decommitted. And it was a good 2 months before I heard from him again. I heard it was actually pretty cool. He texted me on Christmas Day. It's like a little surprise, like right before it was like 10 at night. He just texted me and let him know that I was back in it at Florida. And then next week after that, he sent Peegler, O'Hara, himself, and they came down to my house for a house visit, and they said they want me on an official visit the next week, which was cutting it close because February 2nd was right around the corner, and I was to the point where I was like, all right, if y'all are serious about it, then yeah, I'm going to be all in, but I got to make sure I can space it out so I know where to go for my last two visits. And I had another one set up with Washington State right after Florida, but they ended up offering me, and then I ended up committing right before I left. So
Yeah, that was kind of a crazy process because I believe it was your visit started on the 21st. You got the offer 22nd, committed 23rd. And it was just so much happened in such a short amount of time that it was just awesome to see. And what kind of was it that sold you on playing for Billy Napier?
So I mean, I picked him over some big offers I had like Colorado and stuff, but it was just I bought into his system. Like I saw what he did at UL in the 4 years he was there. They're like a top tier. They were ranked the past 2 years. Like it's crazy what they did. They beat Iowa State. Um, it's just like a lot of coaches talk about their culture and stuff, what they do, but like he had examples of how it worked and when it did and how he brought it up from the ground up from scratch. So
Yeah, he's a complete program builder here and a culture too. We've seen so much. I know, you've been in Gainesville for, I believe, 2 months now. I think you got here in May. And, we saw last year, culture wasn't great in Florida. It wasn't here in Gainesville, but we've seen things change so much so quickly. But what has your Gainesville experience been like so far?
it's been awesome. I was the mopeds caught on to me quick. I was like, "Do I need to get one?" And like everyone on the team was like, "Yeah, if you don't have a truck or something, you need to get one." So I went down and bought me a moped, and I've been exploring. It's like a small town feel, but it's really not small. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff to do around here, and I've just been kind of exploring with some of my teammates and stuff, and we've been having a good time.
And I mean, you just mentioned you've been exploring with your teammates and fun. There's quite a few players on the Florida roster that are from Texas. So has that kind of been a good still feel for a home from you?
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of diversity on this team. Like, I'm rooming with Andrew Savaianaya. He's from Washington. I'm rooming with Trey Smack, the kicker. He's from Maryland. I'm from Texas. I'm rooming with Jack Pyburn. He's a hometown. He's from Florida. So there's a lot of just we're all kind of diverse. It's cool hearing about like their stories, like the food they have up there. It's like it's so different. But yeah, you definitely like Caleb Douglas. He's from Houston. It's about 2 hours from me, so we share a lot of common ground there. So.
And then shifting more towards an on-field focus point here, how would you describe your play style?
So my play style is I compare myself to people like Jason Witten, Gronk that are going to block 50%, maybe more of the time, but are always a threat and like play action, roll out, or you can stick me out wide for a size mismatch. Obviously, I'm not going to outrun anyone on the field or burn anyone. I run like a high like 4.78, so I'm not going to be burning the secondary or anything like that. But if I can get the ball in my hands, I'll break a few tackles. It's going to take more than one person to take me down. So that's how I like the best way I can compare it to is like Jason Witten, the Gronks, the bigger ones that are gonna. And if you ever need an extra blocker in there, that they can secure the run game for you. So that's how I say it.
Think the Florida Gators are going to win 7 games this year. 6 games or less, 7 or more, 6 or less. Right now on BetOnline, the Gators win total is set at 6.5. So make sure to get your bets in as soon as you can because that line's going to change. I'm taking the over. Even if it goes up to 7.5, I'd take the over again. I don't care. I'm just feeling that way. I've been using BetOnline for years now. I couldn't be happier with it. Your number one source for your betting needs and sports information. It's got not just football, basketball, baseball, soccer, hockey, darts, table tennis, tennis. It's got economics, politics, award shows, reality shows. It's got everything on this website and so much more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn all about the trends and action. Check out Bet Online. It's where the game starts. I like that you said Jason Witten because I'm assuming you're a Cowboys fan. But I like that you brought up Jason Witten because he's someone who was never the most athletic, was always good at blocking, but for some reason the dude is just always open. And it was I'm a Giants fan, so that was incredibly frustrating from my side to just see that he was always open. And we've talked about you as or everybody has kind of thought about you as strictly a blocking tight end, but I was watching your tape, and you could do some things there where a little bit of violence as a runner, and it's interesting to see. Like I know there was that one play where you lined up out wide and you took a screen to the house, and it was just. I mean, I'm hoping we see that in Gainesville. I'll let you know that much. And I mean, I know you mentioned Witten and Gronk. Are there any other players that you kind of try to build your play style after?
Yeah, so Mercedes Lewis is one of them in Green Bay. He's a pretty good. I like to style it like his blocking techniques are amazing, and then when he gets the ball, it's just a wrecking ball. Like you don't like no one wants to take him down, but they just know they have to try. And another one's like Delaney Walker. He's a good one. But yeah, I mean, when people try to label me as just a blocking tight end, I get where they're coming from because yeah, I'm 6'7", 257. Like I'm not Kyle Pitts. I'm not a receiver type, but I can run routes. I mean, I can split out wide and run. Obviously, I'm not going to burn anyone downfield, but I can get that separation, get that first down catch or 5 yards or whatever they need. So
Yeah, I mean, and you're just adding to the long line of Florida high school quarterbacks turn tight ends with guys like Kyle Pitts, Jordan Reed, Trey Burton. They've all done it. But what has that kind of transition been like for you to go from quarterback? And I'm pretty sure it was a few games into your junior year that you changed. So it wasn't even like you had a full off season to prepare. But what was that transition been like?
so switching to quarterback to tight end, I think that's a big reason why my recruitment didn't blow up sooner because I was a quarterback my whole life till junior year. I moved to Weatherford, and I was having a quarterback battle with another kid, and we were both very good. And the coaches basically came up and said, "Look, we need to play both of y'all." And at Weatherford we had scouts coming in like Tech and OU and SMU, and they would always ask me, "Why don't you play tight end?" It's like I never thought of it. And then they came up in a scrimmage. I was like, "Yeah, I'll go give it a try." So my junior year, I ran like a 5 yard out, turned into like a 35-yard gain first time, and I was like, "This is nice." Like you don't have as much pressure. You just got to remember what you're doing, your route you're running, and just don't go down. Like I was like, I can get into this. So but a couple of games later, I made the full time switch. So in all reality, senior year was my only full year of playing tight end. Like I'm still learning a lot. The more I more on the route running side, like the technique and stuff. Like I'm good on blocking for the most part. It's just like I'm learning like the splits, the footwork, the release. But I'm coming along very fast, and I'm just ready to show it. So
You're also kind of an odd transition from quarterback to tight end because a lot of the guys we've seen move or even quarterback to receiver, they can run routes and it's usually these very athletic guys that can run routes and get open, but and they struggle as blockers. And you're kind of the opposite, which is always interesting to see. And I'm interested to see how this development is going to go. Do you have any goals for the upcoming season, whether it's individually or team oriented?
yeah, so as a team, I mean, we've been having these player led meetings, and we all want a title. We all want a national title. We all want the SEC championship. We want to take down Georgia and obviously beat Bama. And we're coming together. It's a pretty good unit I'm seeing. But I mean, just personally talking, I mean, every freshman will tell you they don't want a red shirt, but we'll see what happens. So fall camp's coming up in about 2 weeks, so I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to talk about this, and I swear, if you say Jason Witten, I'm ending the interview right now. Who is the best tight end of all time?
Yeah, so it's not Jason Witten, in my opinion, for the best tight end of all time. It's kind of a tricky one. It's hard. Gronk's got to be in that conversation. I'd say Tony Gonzalez. Um, it's just I'd say Gronk just because of what he did. He's just there's not much weakness in his game. And he's been doing it for so long. Like, tell me another tight end that's retired, came back the next year, or just changed his mind and just like Tom Brady did. It's just crazy to me. Like,
Yeah, and I think for the younger generation as well, like we're gonna say Gronk because we didn't see prime Tony Gonzalez.
uh,
Like it's hard to say that, but we saw prime Gronk and we saw him just completely decimate every defense he saw for over a decade at this point. And just the last question for you is what is it that you like to do in your free time? I know you're a Texas kid now in a brand new area. So what is it that you kind of do in your free time?
so during the day, I've been going down to this spring down in Gainesville, and it's been pretty fun. Just like tubing down it and like climbing the cliffs with the guys, and so that's one. And then I go out at night with some of the freshmen to explore Gainesville and stuff, and that's been fun. But I really haven't found like a true hobby here yet. 'Cause, I mean, I've only been here for 2 months, and but I'm looking. I'm sure when like everyone gets back for like fall classes and stuff, that other places will be popping up and stuff. So
And just where can the Gator fans find you on Instagram, Twitter? Where can they find you?
So I'm most active on Instagram. I am active on Twitter though. My Instagram is Hayden Hansen 89. That's my number. I'm gonna be wearing for my time as a Gator. I wanted it and I got it. So yeah. Then Twitter's the same exact thing. So
Is there a significance to 89 for you?
so when I was a quarterback, I wore number 5, and then when I switched to tight end, I stayed wearing number 5 until my senior year. I was like, all right, I'm a full time tight end now. It's like it's time to get a tight end number, you know. And I know earlier you said I was a Cowboy fan. I'm not a Cowboy fan. It might surprise you, but I'm a Ravens fan since the Joe Flacco era. But yeah, and then I was a big fan of Mark Andrews. I was like, you know what? Let's go with 89 and just see what happens. And I liked it for senior year. And then I got here and I was like, obviously, I'm not going to get number 5. They're going to give those to the seniors. So I was like, all right, so let's go with 89. I just told Coach Pico, he asked me, I was like, if you give me 89, there'll be no complaints. I got it. So
And now I know you're a Ravens fan. That's how I know that you're a good blocker because it's just
yeah,
that's what
Nick
they do.
Boyle and all them. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense there. Thanks, Hayden. I mean, best of luck this season, and we're just hoping for the best for you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.